Awesome. As a reminder, please mute yourself when others are speaking and rename yourself with the role you will be filling today. I'd like to welcome our guests, and it looks like we have all the roles filled today besides all counter grammarian and timer. Can we have someone to fill those roles?
Let's see.
Becky, are you on mute?
I guess I can try to do the timer. Let's see.
If you all need me to be the all counter, I will.
Awesome.
Great. Thanks, Techie.
Thank you.
Tiki.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. And with that, I will turn it over to our Toastmaster of the day, Distinguished Toastmaster Karen Baird.
Well, actually, I think our Toastmaster of the day is Artemis.
No, I have you down.
You
Karen.
do? Okay.
Or I did. Or am I looking at something wrong?
You know what? I printed off the wrong agenda. That's probably the problem right there. All right. Thank you. All right. Well, let's go into the reading of our mission statement. And we read our mission statement every meeting because that's the reason we meet. This is why we're here today. This is our goal. The mission of a Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member has the opportunity to develop communication skills and leadership skills, which in turn fosters self-confidence and personal growth. So that is why we're here today. For our first matter of business, I want to welcome our brand newest member to the club, Dr. Bill Liverman. So let's all give him a warm welcome. He joined our club. This is his first meeting that he's been able to attend since joining. So Bill, can you give us an impromptu 1-minute introduction of yourself to the club?
Good afternoon. Good evening, everyone. Happy to be here, and thanks for the invite. I'll make this very brief. I joined Toastmasters in 2014. I just finished my doctorate. I was burning out, excited, but I wanted to do more or less in the community. So Renette Gordon, my next door neighbor of 30 plus years, invited me to Innovative Orators. I joined, and when I saw the potential, I said, well, I'm going to be a DT, I'm Distinguished Toastmaster in 4 years. I set a goal for 4 years, and I actually made it 4 years and 2 months. Then after that, I was still teaching. So I kind of put Toastmasters on hold for more or less 3 years. And I'm back in the groove now because I'm in the process of finishing writing my book this summer. So that's the whole process in a nutshell. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And I want to recognize that we have our guest. And you can tell me how to pronounce it again, because I think I said Techie, but maybe it's Tiki. I'm not sure.
Yes. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. My name is Tiki Jackson.
Tiki.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you. And we've got Tiana Washington here today. Now, Tiana has submitted her application. So she is on the precipice of membership. So as soon as we get that dues payment, you'll be an official member. So we're glad you're here with us tonight. And we have a full agenda today. I'm looking forward to our meeting. So let's get right into our agenda, which now that I have the right one, shows me that our word master is Dottie Hamilton. Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I've gotten ahead of myself. I forgot to club business and announcements. So our club officer training is set for June 22nd. So all club officers, the expectation is all club officers will attend. If you happen to be having your 5th wedding anniversary on that day and cannot attend for that reason, then we're going to see if there's a makeup that can be made available either through our district or through another district. Also, we had this suggestion of inviting prior members and guests to join Toastmasters. So Bill, I think I saw that you sent out some emails today just prior to the meeting. Is that correct, Bill Moylan?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I did reach out to a few people and I put my name on the list. I understand that the document itself was initially incorrectly set up so that it could not be updated, but I fixed that now. So if anybody else can look at the document and pick up some names to contact people, especially if you know them, we appreciate that because we really want to get to our membership goal before the end of the club year on June 30th. And with that, now we're ready to go into our next part of the agenda, which is our word master. So let's welcome Toastmaster Dottie Hamilton with our word of the day.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, guests, and I have the privilege to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day helps us expand our vocabulary, and we are to use it throughout the meeting. Whenever someone uses it throughout the meeting, we will signify with or hand clap like that to acknowledge that they have incorporated the word of the day into their vocabulary. I made an error, so I was trying to correct my error. Ameliorate. Ameliorate is a verb. MetroMasters has on the agenda a section that aims to ameliorate our club, okay? It means to make something better. Make something better, such as a problem. Now, I'm going to finish my typing and send it back out because I did have an error. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for ameliorating your word of the day. So thank you. Let's all try and use that word today. We're going to wedge it in any way we can. We're going to wedge that word into our part of the meeting today. Okay, let's just make that a goal. We're going to do it. So with that, we'll go on to our table topics portion of the meeting. And I will invite our table topics master, distinguished Toastmaster Artemis Mayat, to come forward and be our table topics master.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Distinguished Toastmasters and special guests. Excuse me. Did you know that Table Topics is one of the 3 main segments or pillars of the Toastmasters meeting? Thinking on your feet, impromptu speaking, everyday conversation is the same as Table Topics. Extemporaneous speaking, speaking on your feet, speaking off the cuff are all interchangeable terms for Table Topics. Now, some frequently ask the benefits of Table Topics, and that is to help you to listen more effectively, to think faster and more strategically, more fluently, and in a timely, well-organized manner. Now, the procedure, I'm going over this for guests, perhaps. I would state the question twice for clarity, which in turn the speaker responds with a reply from 1 to 2 minutes. At this time, I would like to ask the timer, which would be Toastmaster Willie Johnson. Would you please explain the timing rules and demonstrate the signals for Table Topics? Thank you.
Excuse me. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. As a timer, it will be my position to keep track of the time that each speaker that you're called on to speak for 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will put up the green logo. At 1.5 minutes, I'll put up the yellow. And at 2 minutes, I'll put up the red. And at the end of the red, we should be shutting down. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master.
Thank you, Mr. Timer. At this time, I will begin with a question. Do you have a nickname? What is your nickname? I would ask Toastmaster Liverton. Do you have a nickname? What is your nickname? If so.
Madam Table Topics Master, yes, I do have a nickname. Of course, William is the name that many people, a plethora of people in this world has William, but the nickname is a shortening of William, which is Bill, right, Bill Moreland? so in that sense, the nickname Bill, I would say, is more or less designed to ameliorate William in terms of that whole process. So my wife, we'll be celebrating 50 years of marriage in 2025 next year, and she always called me William. She had a boyfriend, and they never got along. We didn't even met. We hadn't met at that time, so I would never call you William. She's always called me Bill. In that sense, it's a whole process. I would say that's my nickname. Thank you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you. I think you said Bill. That always reminds me of a favorite song when I grew up. It still is. I just, oh man, don't mess with Bill. Find a guy of your own. Oh man, those are the days. But my next question. What organizations do you belong to? Clubs or committees? Do you belong to any organizations, clubs, or committees? Toastmaster Hamilton.
Thank you for that question. Table Topic Master Mayat. I am in the process of eliminating a lot off my plate. I am in too many entities. I work with the National Congress of Christian Education, which is up under the umbrella of the National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated. I work with the state. I work with the Baptist Missionary and Educational State Convention and the Congress. I work with the district. I work with the Michigan District Association, Women's Auxiliary, the Congress of Christian Education. So, along with helping my husband, who is Reverend Willie, and working with him, playing, he preaches every month, and he wants me to help him type up when he gets his sermons ready, right? So I'm getting a little tired. I told him, I said, I can't help play the piano anymore. I've been playing the piano since I've been 11 years old, and I am now 75. I have to start getting things off of my plate. Yes, thank you for that question. So I may ameliorate right now and vent. I'll turn it back over to Table Topics Master.
I kind of tailor-made that question for you because I know you know, are doing so many things. I was just kind of jumping at the bit just to find out what some of your other interests were. My next question is, what do you do in your spare time? What do you do in your spare time? Techie Jackson, Toastmaster Techie Jackson.
Hello, thank you, fellow Table Topics Master What do I do in my spare time? Unfortunately, I have a lot of spare time because I am disabled. So I have a lot of spare time. But what I do is I exercise. I usually go for walks, exercise. I study on Toastmasters International and try to take as many courses, as many projects as possible and learn as much as possible so I can a little, can you say that word again?
Ameliorate.
Ameliorate my conversations. I have a desire to become not only a better speaker, not only a better communicator, but I have a desire to become a motivational speaker in the future. So that's why I joined tabletop. That's why I joined Toastmasters. And that's what I do in my spare time mostly. I go to as many clubs as I can so I can be involved, so I can ameliorate my conversation as much as possible. Thank you so much, Toastmaster.
Thank you. My next question is, can you share with us some tidbit of information as far as children, your family, pets, your spouse? Toastmaster Moylan, can you share with us a little bit about your family, your pets, your spouse, your children?
Thank you, Madam Topic Master. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. When you mention family to me, I don't think of my immediate siblings. I think of more of an extended family. My mother would keep in touch with her second cousins. I already have 50 first cousins, and most of them are still with us. And so when my mother would talk about family, the immediate family for my wedding some years ago, I said, Mom, no, that's not going to work. When we mentioned family, it would be the immediate siblings. I have 5 sisters and a brother. One was married, the others were not. My brother is my best man. We'll keep it focused. My wife comes from a family of 8 children. We would keep it focused. Oh, you want to have, I said, Mother, if I bring just the people you think about immediate family, that's 197 people, and that doesn't include my new spouse. So we're going to keep it focused. But one of the things that I have learned from my mother is that it's very simple. Be nice. If you can't say something nice about someone, don't say anything at all. My mother was the perfect yin to my father's yang. He could find anything and find something wrong with it. Quite the complainer in a way. He thought it was just being honest, Irish background. But my mother, she always would find something positive to say. Now, they were a good balance. I think that's what we need in life. Balance and to listen. The bell for balance, L for listen. Thank you, Madam Topic Master.
This next one, can you share with us a fun fact about yourself? Can you share with us a fun fact about yourself? Toastmaster Willie Johnson.
Well, let me record my own time. A fun fact about myself. Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, and if there's any guests. You know, when it comes to fun, I am right there having fun. I know one of our Table Topics person said that they were wanting to be a motivational speaker. Now that's what I do. And that's what it's all about, having fun. I usually tell my audience it's never too late to live up to your potential, and it's never too late to create a larger vision for your life because it is possible. in anything we do. So when I think about having fun, that's exactly why. In fact, I tell people, when I die, I'm going to downstate because it's all about having fun, 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 fun. Now, if you notice, I have not said our word for the day because one of the things that I've done, I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce that word. And so I'm still trying to pronounce it. I'm still trying to figure out how to pronounce that word. So I'm going to have to work on it a little bit before I can ameliorate or something. But otherwise, I'm having fun with that word. Now, Madam Table Topics Master, I see that I've already spoken for 1 minute and 20 seconds, so I'm going to shut up and turn it back over to you.
Thank you. That was just fun just listening to it. My next question is, what is your pet peeve? What is your pet peeve? Toastmaster Verkler.
What a great question. Thank you, Table Topics Master. My biggest pet peeve, I'm not sure if I have one specific that comes to mind. There are definitely small things that people do, like the people who don't understand that zipper merging is actually the most efficient traffic pattern. And it's not rude, it's actually very efficient and will get everyone there faster. I don't like when people like to play, president of the road and decide who should be able to come in or not. I generally like to just let whoever's trying to come in do whatever they want because I am not the owner of the road. I am simply there, and someone being in front of me is not going to throw off my day in any way. Another pet peeve that I have is when people are having a conversation with you in which you may have some sort of disagreement and you present to them facts, something that they can look up themselves, something that they can go and fact check. And it causes them to recede deeper into their opinion rather than growing from it and changing their opinion. There are some people who have this mindset that you should stay steadfast in your opinions when really growth is all about changing your mind. You can always change your mind when you're presented with new information. So those are my biggest pet peeves. People who don't zipper merge in traffic and people who don't use their mind like a parachute. It only functions when it's open. Thank you.
Interesting. It's very educational too. My next question is your favorite food. Can you please share with us what your favorite food is? Toastmaster Cooley.
Thank you, Madam Table Topics Master. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters and our wonderful guests. It is too hard to pick one favorite food. I love to eat. If I could not eat, I don't know. I don't know if it'd be worth it to keep on going because I love food that much. Some of my favorite foods are foods that are spicy and foods that are crunchy. My favorite snack that combines those two elements are hot Cheetos, flaming hot Cheetos.
That's what
And you have to be careful when you're eating flaming hot Cheetos because they're very dusty and they're full of artificial food coloring. How do I get around this, you might ask? I am very adept at using chopsticks. So I get the family size bag of flaming hot Cheetos because a girl needs to eat and a girl needs a snack. And I take my chopsticks and I pick them out one by one and I eat them. And the burning feeling that accompanies eating those hot Cheetos, it's like all your stress is melting away while your mouth is on fire from the flaming hot Cheetos. And that delicious little crunch that you get when you bite into the corn chip of the flaming hot Cheeto. It's like, oh, I'm just crunching all my worries away. So while I don't think I could pick a favorite food ever, that is certainly my favorite snack food. Thanks for asking.
That was hilarious. My daughter's favorite. She's got to have that and Red Bull or whatever you call them. She's addicted to those things. I've tried them and now I'm hooked on a pear something. Tastes like pear and there's watermelon something. Some lady said, well, I don't know if well, never mind. But anyway, let's move on to the last question. If you were to paint your picture paint a picture of your future. Take us on a ride. Take us on this journey. Paint a picture of your future. What would it look like? Toastmaster Karen Baird.
Fellow Toastmasters, the picture of the future changes depending on where you are starting from. Well, if you ask me today to paint the picture of the future, hey, I'm already in retirement. My future can be anything that I want to make it to be. I don't have to worry about, I don't have to accomplish anything. I've already accomplished winning the lottery of life, which is going through the whole career and getting to that point of being able to retire. So the things that I want to do now are to have experiences in my future. So I would have a picture with a lot of different vignettes and scenes of all the different things that I want to try, things that I've never done before, but I want to try them out and see if I'm any good at them and just have fun along the way. Some of those things might be, and I put them on a list, by the way, I might like to be a book editor. I thought that would be a lot of fun to edit somebody else's work. And it would give me a thrill of feeling like, hey, I'm smart. And it would also make me feel like, hey, I'm able to put something out into the public. It would feed my ego tremendously. Another thing I'd like to do is to go on trips. And I could see myself, and I have pictures of myself traveling and having fun in different locations. That would be a fun thing for my future. And of course, I want to maintain health and be vivacious, and I want to ameliorate this body, make it better and better over time, not go downhill, but keep it going ever forward. So I would see myself doing all kinds of activities that I would enjoy doing, you know, swimming, hiking, doing all those, lifting weights, getting some muscles and reducing the old lady flap. So those are the things that I would have on my picture of my future. And best of all, I could make it be anything that I want. Madam Tabletop Toastmaster.
This is, must say, very fun for me and very enjoyable. But this time, this concludes my table topics segment of the meeting. And I'd like to return control to our wonderful Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Baird.
Thank you. Thank you. And now we'll go further into our speaking portion of our meeting. Oh, I'm glad to see that our first speaker is queuing up his presentation. Thank you very much. Now, when I asked Bill to be the speaker at this meeting, he was going to be the guest speaker, but since he's joined our club, he's now presenting a speech within the club, writing a speech with a purpose. And his purpose is the topic that I challenged him to discuss, which is how to use humor to enhance a business meeting or management presentations. So many times in the business world, we think of those meetings as dry and boring. So Bill is going to give us a 5 to 7 minute presentation discussing engaging executives with humor. Bill?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. Any presentation is one of four things. It's to inform, to entertain, to persuade, to inspire. As Karen mentioned, I'm going to talk to you on how you can ameliorate your management presentation with humor. Now, beginning. We all know about how we want to break the ice with any audience. One time when I was speaking overseas in Manama, Bahrain, at a conference, and I was one of two keynotes. Now, the other gentleman was very esteemed and well known. But the audience, I had worked in Saudi Arabia with Aramco for 11 and a half years. And this was part of my introduction. So it was kind of a connecting. And of course, they all knew that Aramco was the Arabian American oil company. But I did mention, to break the ice, that ARAMCO also meant Another revision and major change order. And may I say, I got some more than a few chuckles out of the audience, in addition to the gentleman who's now the chairman of the board of the Arabian American Oil Company. And he still chuckles about that little tidbit. So a little bit of humor, a lot of ways to connect you in breaking the ice. Now, accentuating your point. Now, on this particular one, I learned something from my father. At the time, he was chief of staff, but also the head of a new organization at his hospital. It was the outpatient, and they were really making this into something more of just an add-on, but a real business. One of the challenges he had that first year was, where do they keep the records? Because it was kind of not directly in the mainstream, but something separate. So he talked about on how they were planning to get better storage space for all the different records. Now, the presentation was rather dry, to say the speak. As Karen had mentioned, what did my father do to ameliorate his presentation? He mentioned that they found a storage room that they could renovate for the storage, and that to save space, they would paint it with a very thin coat of paint. It broke everyone up, but it did make his point that space was at a premium. Another one is connecting with your audience. Now, how many of you have ever had to try to implement new technology, particularly with computer systems, amongst people who don't want to? In one of my various things in my checkered career, I've done a lot of computer system implementations. I gave the story one time where I was there in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia when I got this urgent call. It wasn't working. So I got into the truck, drove out there, and as I'm coming into the building, I noticed that there were computer pieces all spread around outside the building. I went up and saw the cost engineer. Now, we called him Tiny. The guy's 6'10", 290. And as I'm showing him the piece of a broken hard drive, Tiny, what happened? Moylan, he said, you said they were tools. And I said, yes, they're tools. How you can manage your scope, your time, your cost, and how it all comes together. I was so excited. And he just said, hey, when a welding set doesn't work overshore, we throw it overboard. Didn't work? I threw it overboard. Problem solved. And I said, what I learned from this was my strategy was right, but I had to change my tact. If you're going to implement high tech, you got to have high touch to build high trust. So you don't have someone throwing it out the window. A way of ameliorating your audience with a bit of alliteration. How about laugh at adversity? How many of you have been in management presentations or meetings that you're just getting shouted at by an executive and they're coming at you? This was kind of a more than a semi-regular experience that I had on various projects. At one time, I sat there and feeling bad. And then a calm came over me. I started to smile. I started to look happy. And I just sat there and I'm beaming. And and he stopped. The room was quiet. He looked at me and it's like, what? And I said, Herb, Mr. Englehart, when you yell at me that way, you remind me of someone else. He used to do that a lot to me, my father. He was on my case about everything. And I knew that even though it made me feel bad, in my heart, I knew my father did it because he loved me. And so when you bawl me out like that, Mr. Englehart, I know that you do it just because you love me. He broke up into laughter. Hey, you're good little, you know what? Let's go on. He didn't stop shouting at me, but at least it got across. But then a tip, be careful with sarcasm. Let's go back to my father. He was at Art Center Hospital and then expanded to the Michigan Osteopathic Medical Center. They had added 3 more hospitals and a new one coming. And they were in a bigger management meeting, and the doctors didn't like it. And there was this one administrator, I won't tell you his name, but he was going on and on about all the problems of MOMSI. And my father said, wait a minute. You know, the way you talk, every problem you got is connected back to our patients. You act as if we just got rid of all the patients, we get rid of all the problems. To which the administrator said, Doc, what a great idea. I'm going to immediately start a patient reduction program. That night when my father reiterated this to me, I said, Dad, you got to be careful with sarcasm. Sometimes it's like in politics. The best political jokes, they end up getting elected. So humor, use it to ameliorate your presentation because it will help you get the point. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Moylan. Very, very enjoyable speech. Now we're going to skip, we are going to skip up ahead to our second speaker. And today's second speaker, Toastmaster Verkler, is going to speak on a subject that I'm sure each one of us has had a struggle with in the past. It's something that we hear about all the time, and I'll bet you it makes us angry when we can't succeed. So we're going to hear her take on a very, very touchy subject. Toastmaster Verkler, ditch the diet. Ditch the diet. Toastmaster Verkler.
Thank you. So show of hands, raise your hand if you've ever been on a diet. Keep it up if you've lost count of how many you've tried. From Atkins to keto, paleo to Whole30, the landscape of popular diets seems to be ever expanding, promising quick fixes and dramatic transformations. But what if I told you that behind the allure lies a dangerous trap? I stand before you today with a message that might challenge some deeply ingrained beliefs. We live in a world obsessed with diets, where the pursuit of thinness often overshadows the pursuit of genuine health and happiness. Today, I urge you to join me in a paradigm shift to reject dieting in favor of a more holistic and sustainable approach to health. Now, before I delve into the evidence against dieting, let me assure you that my stance is not mere opinion. It's grounded in extensive research and backed by the voices of countless health professionals. As an epidemiologist, I've witnessed firsthand the detrimental effects of dieting on physical and mental well-being. So why should we abandon diets? The answer lies in a simple yet powerful truth. Diets don't work. Yes, you heard that right. Despite what the multi-billion-dollar diet industry wants us to believe, diets are not the solution. They are part of the problem. Overwhelming evidence from numerous studies highlights a troubling pattern. The majority of individuals who go on diets find themselves back where they started, and often carrying even more weight than before. Weight regain after dieting can occur due to several factors. When individuals restrict their calorie intake or follow a highly restrictive diet, their bodies often respond by slowing down their metabolism. This is an effort to conserve energy. And this is an adaptive response. This adaptive response is a survival mechanism that dates all the way back to our ancestors' times of food scarcity. Our body literally interprets this as us starving. As a result, when individuals return back to their normal eating patterns, their bodies are burning fewer calories than before, making it way easier to regain the weight. Furthermore, restricted diets often lead to a loss of muscle mass. Since muscle tissue burns more calories at rest than fat tissue, a decrease in muscle mass can further reduce your metabolic rate, making it even harder to maintain that weight loss. So what we see is this infamous cycle of yo-yo dieting wreaks havoc on our bodies, leading to metabolic disturbances, hormonal imbalances, and even increased risk of the chronic diseases you may very well be dieting to avoid, like diabetes and heart disease. But the harm doesn't stop there. Dieting takes a toll on our mental health as well. This constant obsession with food, calories, and body image can spiral into eating disorders, anxiety, and depression. Restrictive dieting, characterized by severe limitations on food intake or even the elimination of entire food groups, can set the stage for episodes of binge eating. When individuals deprive themselves of certain foods or severely restrict their calorie intake, it can trigger intense cravings and feelings of deprivation. This deprivation mindset often backfires on us, leading to uncontrollable urges to consume large quantities of the forbidden foods. These episodes of overeating are often accompanied by feelings of guilt, shame, and loss of control, further perpetuating a harmful cycle of restrictive eating followed by binging. Over time, this pattern can contribute to the development of disordered eating behaviors and negatively impact both physical and mental health. Moreover, diets promote a harmful culture of body shaming and self-criticism, perpetuating unrealistic beauty standards that no one can truly ever achieve. Despite the pervasive belief that shedding pounds will unlock the door to happiness and fulfillment, the evidence paints a different picture. Countless individuals embark on weight loss journeys with the hope that a slimmer physique will bring them joy and contentment. Yet studies have consistently shown that weight loss alone does not guarantee an improvement in overall well-being. In fact, many individuals who achieve their desired weight find themselves grappling with a host of new challenges, from body image dissatisfaction to the pressures of weight maintenance. The truth is, happiness cannot be measured on a scale. True happiness stems from self-acceptance, nurturing meaningful relationships, and pursuing passions and interests that ignite the soul. As we navigate the complexities of life, let's remember that our worth extends far beyond the number on the scale. So if dieting isn't the answer, what is? It's time to shift our focus from restrictive eating to intuitive living. Intuitive eating, a concept rooted in listening to our body's hunger and fullness cues, encourages a balanced and sustainable approach to nutrition. Rather than focusing on restrictions, emphasize adding nutritious foods to support a positive relationship with food and your health goals. By honoring our cravings without guilt and cultivating a healthy relationship with food, we can achieve long-term well-being without the need for rigid diets. So here's my call to action. We must challenge societal norms that equate thinness with worthiness, and we must prioritize self-love over self-deprivation. Let's support each other in embracing our bodies as they are, celebrating their resilience and strength, regardless of the size or shape. Challenging the entrenched myth that weight is the sole determinant of health is essential for fostering a more inclusive and compassionate approach to well-being. While weight can certainly be a factor in certain health conditions, it is far from the only indicator of overall health. The reality is that health is multifaceted and complex, influenced by things like genetics, lifestyle factors, socioeconomic status, and access to healthcare. Moreover, research has shown that individuals can be healthy at various weights, and that focusing solely on weight overlooks the importance of other behaviors, such as regular physical activity, balanced nutrition, stress management, and adequate sleep. By shifting the narrative away from these weight-centric perspectives and embracing a more holistic understanding of health, we can create a more inclusive and supportive environment where individuals of all shapes and sizes are empowered to prioritize their well-being. Together, we can create a world where health is not measured by the number on a scale, but by the joy and vitality we experience every day. In conclusion, I urge you to join me in saying no to diets and yes to a life of balance, freedom, and self-compassion. Let's reclaim our power from the diet industry's grasp and pave the way for a healthier, happier future. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Verkler. Let me go to the agenda. All right. So this concludes our prepared speeches. We're ready to move forward into our evaluation portion of the meeting. So I will ask the general evaluator to step forward and hand over the reign of control to general evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Willie Johnson. Willie, we would appreciate it if you'd come off of mute.
Well, I just didn't want everybody to hear me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you once again. I am the general evaluator. Basically, what happens is every meeting, every organization to grow and develop must have feedback. And one of the ways Toastmasters International honors that, we have an evaluation of our meetings, our speakers, and all of those folks that do different things. So as a general evaluator, I will be giving an overall assessment of the meeting and also calling on my, what I call tag team. And the tag stands for my timer, odd counter, and grammarian. So those are my helpers that I have. And as far as my timer, that was myself. And I do have the times. I'll just tell you real quick what those times were, so that we'll get that out of the way. On our table topic, we had our first table topic, Lieberman was 1 minute and 8 seconds. Toastmaster Hamilton was 1 minute and 38 seconds. Tiki was 33 seconds. Mullen Bill was 1 minute 59 seconds. Willie was 1 minute 27 seconds. Jelena was 1 minute 32 seconds. Kim was 1 minute 29 seconds, and Karen was 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So those were the times on our table topic. And both of our speakers, by the way, both of our speakers qualified in time. Our first speaker, Bill, he had 7 minutes and 12 seconds. And Jelena, our second speaker, had 6 minutes and 46 seconds. So that is my timers report. I wanted to get that out of the way. And now let me call on, before we go to our grammarian, I'll go to the grammarian afterwards. So the first thing that I would do is I would like to call on my evaluator. And the first evaluator, our first speaker was Toastmaster Bill Moreland, and he will be evaluated by Kimberly. So let's welcome Kimberly, who's going to evaluate Toastmaster Moreland.
Thank you. Toastmaster Moylan, another engaging and interesting speech from you. Today, your title was Engaging Executives with Humor, and your intended purpose was to be informative and entertaining and use humor to engage executives in management strategies. I really liked that you used that AI insert yourself in front of the background feature. That worked really well because we could see you easily, but we still see the content behind you. I thought that the backgrounds that you chose to illustrate the points within your speech were really good. The breaking the ice, you had a piece of ice, the laugh at adversity, there was the kitten that looked like it was laughing. That made me laugh. That was really cute. So great choice in the backgrounds that you chose. They did add to the presentation and they kept the audience's interest. You used the word of the day 4 times during your prepared speech, which was very impressive. Additionally, you referenced Aramco, the Arabian American oil company, and then you said that they had another meeting and you displayed the acronym on screen, which I found very helpful because I wasn't sure if I was hearing you correctly. So seeing it was very helpful. I am going to be slightly tough on you. You had one speaking error. You said to say to speak, which I think you meant to use a different phrase in that spot. I'm not familiar with that expression. But your use of humor was fabulous. The joke that your dad made about using a very thin coat of paint in the storage room, that made me chuckle. The tiny gentleman that you referred to who didn't like the computer equipment being 6'10" and 290 pounds, that was funny too. Your use of gestures was great when you were showing us the angry executive who was yelling at you and you were doing this. I kind of had a moment where I was like, whoa, stop it. I don't like it. I don't want to be yelled at. So that was very effective. It really got your point across. Clarity was great. Eye contact. You used gestures throughout. You certainly fulfilled the purpose of your speech. And there were very few things that I could pick on you about, just that one expression that I heard that wasn't used correctly, but overall, great job.
Thank you for that evaluation. Our next presenter, Jelena, will now be married. Ha! Oh, I don't know where I am tonight. Will be evaluated by none other. Karen, are you going to be evaluating her?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And Willie, after I do my evaluation for the speaker, I'm going to do the evaluation for table topics.
Okay. Okay, so let's welcome Karen, who's going to give us an evaluation of our speaker, Jelena.
All right, Jelena, you talked about a topic near and dear to everyone's heart today. Diets. Who doesn't hate them? So thank you for giving us that very enlightening topic. And it's good to know that not only are you just speaking to us as a fellow human being who's lived the life of diets, but that you have the credibility with the epidemiology background. So that adds a lot of credibility to the items that you included in the speech. In the speech, you gave us a lot of information about all the functionality, why things that happen, why they happen, how they work, how they don't work. You gave us a lot of information, and it was backed up with credible sources. So that I have a lot of appreciation for that, because I'm a person who likes details and likes information to be backed up, not just by opinion. So your purpose today was to be persuasive. So I'm going to say that the way you structured your speech, it was very persuasive. You gave us a lot of background, foundational information. You gave us information on why it doesn't work, and some suggestion and a challenge at the end for what we could do that does work. So in all that, I feel that you met the requirements of this speech. For general purposes, to improve your speech, and I don't have any problem with the content. So this is just going to be on delivery. I believe that there was a lot of reading going on with your speech, and there was a lot of information included in the items that you were reading. So even though you had a great tone of voice, even though you had good facial expressions, I could tell that you were doing a lot of reading. And I think that the sound of reading took away from the connection to the audience. So I'm going to say that when you want to persuade the audience, it's more important to make the connection than to have a lot of detailed information. And so maybe take a little bit of time, maybe pull back on the amount of information and put into maybe anecdotal story, personal story, questions to the audience, something that will be more engaging to the audience, because this is such an engaging topic. You want to make sure people don't get lost in the details. And especially, like I said, because of the tone of reading, it could make somebody like me, who's an ADD person, could start making my mind wander if I don't have that connection to pull me back in. Oh yeah, okay. So to summarize, I'm going to say great layout, great information, very persuasive, especially I love the wrap up and the call to action at the end. And to bring it up to another level, a little bit more audience engagement will make it even that much more persuasive the next time. All right, I'm going to move on to the new item that we've added to our agenda, which is table topics evaluation. Now, I've only seen this done once, and it was done so well by Toastmaster Moylan. So what I'm going to do is a little bit different. Toastmaster Moylan last time gave sort of general feedback. I'm going to give my impression for each speaker. I'm going to say for Bill Liverman. Oh, there we go, Bill Liverman. I thought that in your table topic, you had great vocabulary and you used humor within your table topic, talking about the old boyfriend and such. So I'm going to say that that was very engaging to me to listen to you. And that what is the point of table topics except to be engaging, because you just had that short window of time. So I'm going to say good job. I don't have any recommendations for you. For Dottie, you gave a lot of details. Oh, Dottie's passed by. Okay, well, everybody else just listen to my recommendations for Dottie, because I think it will be instructive. So Dottie gave us a lot. She was asked for, what are you involved in? She gave a lot of details on what she was involved in. And then she sort of gave she also at the beginning, at the end, said that she's involved in too many things, that she wants to offload some of these items. So she not only gave us information, but she also gave us a little call to action and a little direction, personal direction, where she was going in the end. So I did like that. For Tiki, Tiki, you gave us a lot of personal information on your goals. So it wasn't just answering the question, but it was almost like a little icebreaker too, because you gave us information about yourself that we probably didn't know. And I liked the way how you started broad and then you focused in. So I noticed that. And likewise for Toastmaster Bill Moylan, he started broad, talking about his family, talking about the whole family. And then he started focusing in narrowly. So I like that approach when you're doing a table topic, because it gives everybody sort of a place to start. And then as you focus in, I call it like the vortex, you're bringing us all along with you. Willie, you were just having fun while talking about having fun. You were making me have fun just watching you have fun. So that, and you are motivational speakers, and I think that is a key element that we can all learn from. People want to have fun, so when they see you enjoying yourself, when you're giving your speech, let's make sure you're enjoying yourself giving your speech, no matter what you're speaking on. Toastmaster Verkler, you had specific information. You were asked what bugs you. And even though it took you a second, you came up with 2 things that really do bug you. And you had very good specific information on what it was and why it bugged you. So I thought that that was good, because when you're on the spot, sometimes it's hard to come up with details. You mentioned details, by the way, in your table topic. And then you had a good wrap up at the end. So I think that is also an effective way to have a table topic. You have good specific, something we can really sink our teeth into, and then a wrap up. Kim, your table topic was very humorously presented. One of your fortes is to use humor. You came up with the answer pretty quick. And I like the way you put a frame around it. So you definitely put us like in the scene, sitting with you on the couch, eating those Cheetos with your, and talking about how eating, and this kind of goes back to Jelena's diet question, eating and crunching and flaming hot Cheetos just melts away the mental stress. So you were able to answer the question and put a frame around it of not just answering the question, but giving us a bigger, so you went in the opposite direction from Tiki and Bill. You started specific and then broadened it out, which is a different approach and also very effective for table topics. Any questions or commentary on how I gave these table topic evaluations? Did you like it, or should we do it a different way? You liked it? Okay.
I loved it.
Back to you, Toastmaster Willie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very, very interesting. I am new to this thing on evaluating table topics, but it is kind of interesting. All right, as we continue to move on, at this time, what I'd like to do as a general evaluator, call on our grammarian. Isn't that Dottie? But I think she's gone. Is Dottie still here?
No, Dottie has to leave early. She has another call that starts, and then she can't stay here for the whole meeting.
Okay, would anybody else like to speak for a minute or so on the grammarian, as a grammarian or eye counter? Did you take some notes? Did anybody else?
I didn't take any notes, but I challenged everybody to speak, to use the word of the day, and I think everybody did. No, you didn't? Would you like to do it now? You can ameliorate your record if you can just work it somehow into a comment. Please, Kim, unmute yourself and say something.
I would like to ameliorate our concerns about this portion of the evaluation because I believe that Tiki did volunteer.
Ah, wonderful.
All right, so we're calling our grammarian eye counter Tiki.
Fellow Toastmasters, I am not the grammarian. I am the eye counter. However, I was so in awe with the speeches today, and you are only person that I found that was in error was me. I found only thing I heard from you all was like a few like start repeats, but other than that, only person that I found like hesitant and lost for words was myself. So you all did excellent. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that report. We all have to start somewhere. And I mean, I'm doing it. I don't do general evaluator often, but I'm on it tonight. Also, as general evaluator, our evaluators did a great job of evaluating the speeches. Our first evaluator was Kimberly, and her time was 2 minutes and 57 seconds on her evaluation. And our second presenter, Karen, evaluated Jelena, and her time was 2 minutes and 46 seconds. And Karen's time for evaluating the table topic, various table topics, was 4 minutes and 27 seconds. So that concludes all of our time. Now, let me just say, as a general evaluator, for overall, I think overall the meeting went well. It's a little bit different than what I'm used to, but the meeting overall went well. I like the flow of the meeting. I like the new idea that I'm going to have to adopt is the evaluation of the table topic. So that's one of the things that I'm going to try to work on and try to adapt. Other than that, the biggest thing that I thought is the meeting flowed pretty well. I was sitting here looking at my time to make sure that we are on time, and we are on time. Everybody stepped up to the plate to fill their role, and even if somebody was not going to be here, I'm glad that somebody stepped up to fulfill that role. Another thing that I would say is I'm glad that everybody seems to be smiling, everybody seems to be energetic, and everybody seems to be taken away from this experience that you want to learn, to develop, and grow in your Toastmasters journey. That then ends my report as the general evaluator, and at this time I would like to return control back over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Johnson. We very much appreciate your pitching in, especially as a guest. It's so wonderful to have you here, and we really appreciate your contribution to the meeting. So looking forward into our next meeting, I would like to know about people's preferred roles for our next meeting. So how about if I call your name and ask you what role you would like to do? All right, and I'm just going to start with Dr. Bill Liverman.
Yes, Toastmaster Karen, here's a quick question. When is the next meeting? This will be a week from today, Tuesday?
No, it'll be on the 25th.
I'm leaving
2 weeks.
town.
Oh, you're out of town? Okay.
No, I'm leaving town Friday. But yeah, I'll be here the 25th. Yes.
Oh, you will
I'll
be here. Okay. Is there a particular
Yes.
role you would like for the next meeting then?
I could be a speaker.
Wow. Thank you.
Yes, I'll be one of the speakers.
I'm just so wow because you know, here's your first opportunity at a meeting, and yet you're going to be a speaker. Appreciate that. All right. And the next person I see is Jelena. Jelena, what would you like to do next meeting?
Can I do table topics?
You kind of broke up a little bit. I couldn't hear what you said.
Table topics.
Oh, table topics. Okay, great. Kim?
What's left still? There's
Everything's open.
okay. Okay, I haven't done Toastmaster of the Day in a really long time. I can do that.
Great. I was going to suggest that same for the very reason. All right, Artemis.
I guess I can do an evaluation or anything really. Let's see.
Well, I haven't heard one of your evaluations in a while, so that sounds
Oh.
good to me.
Okay.
All right, Toastmaster Moylan. Go Moylan.
Right now, we have 2 speakers scheduled. I'm looking at the agenda from my other screen. Valerie is a speaker as well as Bill. I'll also serve as an evaluator.
Okay. All right. So that leaves me as, let's see, speaker, evaluate. I think I can do one of the roles of grammarian. I will do odd counter. I'll do odd counter. And if I need to, I'll also do timer, but we'll see if somebody else will join who can do that. Now, Toastmaster Willie Johnson, would you like to come to our next meeting on the 25th?
Okay, I'll do timer.
Wow,
thanks.
thank you, Willie. You know, we don't have a general evaluator. Would anybody like to ante up their role and be the general evaluator? Tiki, would you like to be a general evaluator?
I would love to if I have the program. I would love to.
Well, we have your contact information in the chat now. Just make sure I have.
So, yes, I would love to.
All right, great. We'll invite you back for that, and then we still have to get Erilyn and Tiana lined up, so we'll talk to them later. Okay, I think we have a great lineup for our next meeting. Again, if you know anyone who you can invite, if you want to look at that form that's on Google Docs, see if there's anybody you can contact and ask them if they would like to join our club. Our last meeting before the end of the club year is going to be on June 25th. So let's see if we can bring it on home and get a few more members so that we can get that award and we can say our club is distinguished. Thank you, everybody. It's 7:11. We have 4 minutes left until the official end of the meeting. Are there any questions or comments?
Yes,
Go ahead,
you go.
Artemis.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna say on the count of 3, I was gonna ask everyone if they could, I was gonna say flaming Cheetos or whatever, and could we all just
sure.
smile? Okay, all right. 1, 2, 3, flaming Cheetos.
Cheetos.
Oh, great. Can we, man, let me see.
Want to do it
Let me
again?
try it one more. Yeah. Okay. On the count of 3, what is that? Red Bull.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Did somebody else have a question or comment? I thought I heard another voice.
Yes,
Liverman.
quick question. Yes, Toastmaster Karen.
Yes.
I mean, if I'm wrong, since I'm new to the club, is it true MetroMasters meet every other twice a month? Is that correct?
We meet on the 2nd and 4th Tuesday. So
Okay,
so if there's 5 Tuesdays in the month, don't get thrown off. It's always the
Gotcha.
second and fourth Tuesday.
Second and fourth. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you. You know what? We didn't do table topics evaluator. Bill, could I ask you to do it again? Just, would you mind? Bill Moylan? Thank you. All right. 3 minutes left, folks.
I spoke with the previous president, I guess from 3-4 years ago, Toastmaster Michael Chavis, and he said, you know, he wanted to try to come back and visit, and a lot of things have changed. So he wanted to, you know, he thanked me for calling. It seemed like that was really important. You know, like, oh, thank you for thinking about me. Thank you for calling. So I guess it's important for us to look at members that we haven't heard in a while and maybe call them and just, you know, see how they're doing. You don't never know what somebody's going through, and it might seem easy for us, but you never know what challenges someone else has. And just a simple hello, you know, and they're like, is it me you're thinking of? You know, and it just means so much to them. So let's just try to reach out.
Yes, I never know how to balance that.
someone.
I never know how to balance that, like being obnoxious and calling too much, or, you know, feeling like I'm not, you know, I'm ignoring people. But I think generally speaking, people do appreciate a phone call.
Mm.
Yes, Dr. Bill Moylan, I mean, Dr. Bill Liberman.
I'll be very brief on this. I'm so excited to be back with the team, back in Toastmasters. And I want to say the one thing that impressed me when I joined Toastmasters 2014, when I met the great Bill Moylan. And to know, Bill, correct me if I'm wrong now, but I believe, you know, he's very humble, so he's very, he probably won't say anything. But to know that Bill Moylan, circa DTM, I believe 30 times, Bill, in terms of
19.
Okay.
I'm working on number 20 and 21. So
I knew I was close, but I've always been impressed with him as a leader, and who started a previous club, and so I'm just excited to be reconnecting with the famous Bill Moylan.
or notorious.
Oh.
Let's just stick with well-known.
Well, no.
All right, everyone.